I'll let you guys go with it because I think I'm going to learn just as much as anyone else today.
All right.
So,
Okay. Yeah. Hi, everyone. Good evening. I'm Pavan Vasudev. I'm with Beat Patrol. We're FLL, Challenge, Explore, and FTC teams here in Litchfield Park, Arizona. And we had the awesome pleasure of going to Worlds last year with the Beat Patrol Explore team. They did awesome. We're very proud of them. We have our coach here, Ansel Miller, and he's on Zoom. He's going to share his screen. Let me. Do you want to talk to the camera?
I wasn't sure if you wanted me to come over here and introduce myself. So I'm Coach Ansel. This is my second year with Beat Patrol with Pavan, and we also have another coach that helps us out a lot too, and that's
Skylar.
Skylar.
Yep.
Yeah, and she's
Yeah,
here.
I'm here.
Huge help.
He's my
She's on
mom.
And there's one of our members there, and we're actually meeting tonight right after this meeting. So it was good timing.
aw.
So it's nice to meet all y'all. I did put together a small slideshow to kind of show how I get ready every week, and then just kind of where I got the season materials, because some of the season materials are, for me, it was a little hard to find, just a few of them. And so I feel like that's the most helpful when preparing for the week. And then I can share like how we kind of go through it, some of the slide decks, maybe some tips and tricks that we do. And I'm sure that Skylar or Pavan has a lot of great information too. Yeah, I think maybe we could share the poster we did last year too, because I think kind of thinking about that on the forefront when you're starting your season, it's just helpful.
Great.
All
Do you
right.
have your poster here?
I think it's actually upstairs.
Okay, I will go track that down.
But well, how do I bring this over there if I'm sharing on the computer?
So he'll switch to sharing over there. I'll turn my video off for right now. You can go ahead and share your screen.
Cool.
Yep.
You should be able to share. I turned sharing on.
My
I don't know anything.
hold on. Not sure if we can. Recording in progress. Are we having any feedback?
No, you sound good right now.
Perfect. Okay, so every week when I kind of get started, I kind of just start preparing. So I put a couple slideshows together. Can I share my full screen?
Yeah.
What am I doing?
What to do?
Get it.
It is a blade. So
I'll disconnect from audio.
this is one of the downloadable pieces.
Oh, we lost you.
Is that better?
Ah, yes.
Nice. Sorry about that. Yeah. I could hear the echo on mine. I don't know if you guys could hear it. So this is one of the downloadable pieces you can get. And so I just start my slideshow with that. And so you can download all the slideshows from the resources, and I'll show you how I get to it here in a second. And then you can kind of edit the slideshow. So if you want to add or take away from things, and the slides that are downloadable as the resources, they come with tons of information. And I feel like that's what helps me the most. So I kind of like set up a small agenda, a little bit about us, kind of like a calendar that we kind of prepped, and we're still working on it because we got with each of the family members to see when they may need time off or when they may not be able to make it. The season materials, how I kind of weekly prep, some budget, maybe some tips and tricks. And Skylar, please feel free to chime in anytime because she's such a huge help during this. So kind of about Beat Patrol. This is my second year teaching with Pavan. I know Beat Patrol's been around for a little bit. This year we're going to actually try 2 teams. Again, it helps when you spell coaches right? With multiple coaches, and the parents help out a lot too. I would say we're mostly a homeschool team. There may be one or two students who were not homeschooled. We meet almost every Thursday. We do have some Tuesdays scheduled out because right before the end of the season. So at the end of the season, there's a showcase and you're sharing and showcasing what the students have achieved. And they're kind of really taking the time to share with the judges everything that they've learned through the years and the things that they built and what they're proud of and the core values that mean the most to them and maybe what stuck with them. So we like to add a few more practices towards the end just to kind of help the kids with public speaking because that's a challenge everyone struggles with. And then most parents stay and assist along the way. So this is kind of what a calendar looks like. I just made this in Word. And if anyone wants this document, I can forward this document. They can modify it however they want. I just made it in Word and just kind of like a brief idea of what our season is going to look like. And you can see we meet just about every Thursday, and there's a couple Tuesdays in there. The season materials, I feel like this is like the biggest resource for me as a coach. And kind of navigating through them was a little bit of a challenge. So I just put them in the slideshow. And then these were the hardest ones, I think, to find, these multimedia resources. So this is like extra videos and things you may want to play at the beginning of your session. So this year is all about being creative with technology, you know, using technology to create all this different kinds of arts. And there's a lot of great YouTube videos, and you know, not all YouTube videos are appropriate for kids. And First Lego League kind of went through, filtered, and gave you some good ideas of where to start with. And I'll show you the ones that we have prepared for this week as well. So when I just show, so if you just start at First Lego League's page right here, you can click on seasons, and then I can forward the slide deck to everyone.
I can't see that. We're just seeing your season material slide
Thank you for
on
saying
your screen.
that's maybe I can share, not just, can I share my whole computer screen? Zoom. I'm gonna,
Because you're sharing a window rather than sharing the screen. That's why.
yeah, I think that's what it is. Let's see. Screen. Thank you. Can you see the screen now?
Yes.
You're right. That's exactly what I was doing. I was just sharing a window. So you have firstlegoleague.org. Let's see if, and right here you can click season and scroll down just a little bit, and you will see that they'll kind of break out into the different deals. So whether you're doing discover, explore, challenge. So I can click explore, and you'll see there's actually a lot of material here. And so this teaser, you have these teaser trailers, you have these YouTube videos, but I have found what's most important are your engineering notebooks and your team meeting guide. I did sign up for ThinkScape, but I haven't been I think this is more for teachers. I'm not sure that it's for like groups necessarily. And maybe I just need to do some more research on that. The multimedia resources, those are those extra resources I said I had a hard time finding. And when you click download, you'll see it'll bring you to like a new web page, and you'll see it'll break out each session. So like session 1, which would be like week 1, and it'll show these extra videos you can share. And so we're just sharing those at the very beginning while everybody's kind of trickling in. They're just kind of finding their place, and they're like watching videos to kind of prep their mind and get them thinking about what we're going to be learning about this week. And so this is going to be season 2. So this is some of those right there. So I found that those to be the most. I did go ahead and download the First Lego League logos and season assets, just because, like, say we want to make t-shirts or we want to add to the slideshow and we want to keep it on the brand, and they have color schemes. They show you everything that you can use right there. And so this is where I found the most useful for these documents. Let me see, make sure I'm not going too far off my slides there. Yeah. And so that's where I start, is just downloading that. And then for the weekly prep, I guess before you even start your weekly prep, I think you kind of almost have to think about the season as a whole first. And the awesome thing about this is like on the first, when you go to download this one right here, the team meeting guide, I already have it open. I downloaded it. I have a folder on my computer with all my first Lego League stuff in it. And I just keep it all right here. It might, I keep two things. We keep this laptop just to do the PowerPoints, and then we actually have an iPad for the actual Spike app, because I've noticed that the kids have a little hard time with the mouse tracks and stuff. It's just a little bit different and my laptop's not a touchscreen. So we bring the iPad and we connect the actual control module to this, to the iPad, just to make it a little easier. Last year we didn't, and we just watched the kids struggle through that a little. I mean, in some ways it was good because kids learned how to use his mouses. So this book is amazing. If you haven't read it, I don't know, I don't like want to read the whole thing, but I really feel like it does such a good job explaining everything. This working as teams, this is pretty much what you do every single week. You're going to explore a new topic, and you're going to explore a new core value. The core values are the things that first believe in, and you'll see them here in a second. You're going to create something. And then after you create that, you're going to talk about it, and then you're going to talk about, okay, how can I make it different? And that's where this test, I think this could be like test or modify, because there's also a challenge normally here where the kids kind of change it up, and at the very end, they share what they did. So at our group, we like to have the kids one at a time just kind of share their name and then share what we knew. And this just helps them get used to sharing before at the end of the season, and they just so they're not nervous. This year's Explore Story, this is kind of fun. So each week is covering different areas, and so they have these different characters used for each week, and it doesn't really get introduced until this week, which we're doing session 2. 1 second for me, little buddy. These are the core values that First has, and so this is just like trying to instill character in the children every week and learn how to work as a team. And it's a little more than just that. Like, I also think this is very professional, like working as team, keep this inclusion impact. Like, this is real world stuff that you do in the real business world that are some of the biggest challenges, I think. Discovering new things, having some fun along with it. I work in the software industry, so like all this brings a lot of, we use what we call sprints, which are like 2-week planning events, and then we actually make them fun on purpose, and then we actually have an innovation sprint. So like every 7 sprints, we have one that's just focused on innovation. And so like all these core values are things that are used in the real world. So I think these are beautiful to teach to children. And so each week you kind of go over one of these. A couple of them get repeated. What we did last year was we kind of picked one for each kid to really talk about. And we helped them, we would ask them questions about it, and they formulated their own little sentence on it. And then we kind of typed that out for them to help them practice it. So when you get to the team poster and they wanted to talk about it. This, I think, is the hardest part, and also the real world, these roles. So like as you're building, so this week we're going to build the actual kit. It's going to be a little center stage, and taking turns doing these different roles. One person reporting it, one person team captain, kind of the leader of the show there, a Lego finder, a builder. This part's kind of hard, and so you'll have one person reading the book and one person finding the Legos, one person building. And last year we would take turns. So we were like, okay, let's see, how many people do we have and how many steps can we do in the Lego book? So say there's 64 steps. We want to divide that by 5 or 6 people, and we would use those certain numbers. Okay, you do this, and then everybody would kind of rotate roles. You wouldn't have to do it that way. You could swap every week, and everybody could have a new week every role. And you'll find some weeks you're not going to have coding, so you're not even going to have a coder that's going to be needed. But towards the end, that will be used. And I think it's kind of nice to get all the kids to code. So that's kind of a challenge to get each one of them a chance to do that. Like I said, I don't know if everyone's got to read this book. I hope I'm not like beating it bad, but But yeah, here's all the resources you're gonna need. This is everything that comes with the kit. And then you kind of go from there. This is the stuff that helped me, the management tips and the engineering notebook tips. So I just kind of read through these. And then these kind of show you exactly what you're going to cover every week. Yeah, and Pavan's kind of holding it up right now. So yeah. I don't think they can see me. Can they see me?
Yeah, they can.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
No, they can't see me.
I've been watching you.
Yeah.
Oh.
We
You're-
can see you.
You're
Oh, you're good.
you're small, but you're there.
And so these checklists, this is my favorite checklist though, the session checklist. Like if you want to plan for the entire season, this kind of lets you know what it's like an overview of what the whole season's going to look like. And I kind of really like that. It helped me like kind of think through it and like when building out the calendar and thinking about it, because I think, I believe the festivals or the showcase this year is going to be Memorial Day. I mean, not Memorial Day, Martin Luther King Day
Martin
weekend.
Luther King Day weekend, yeah.
Yeah, that's
And
really soon.
I am trying to reserve another room for April if anybody's not able to do January, but the one in April will be only Explore if we do it at all. The goal is really to do it in January so the kids are the center of the attention. So January 13th.
Yeah, if your team has the flexibility to do two times a week, that would make that a lot easier to achieve. And so we put a couple 2 times a week, especially you see only these where these are joined together like 4 and 6, 8 and 9, 10, 11. So those were the weeks where like, okay, let's do 2 in that week. And then we left 2 extra weeks to kind of prepare. And then this is like a teacher's guide. So I read both of them actually. I like to think of like, what's it look like from the kids' perspective? And then what's it going to look like from the teacher's perspective? I just kind of read through those and get the PowerPoint ready. And so you can see. So that's kind of how I get ready for the week. Any questions on that? I feel like I just kind of rambled through some of that. Would anybody like to see kind of how we're going to do it this week? So here's my slideshow. Here's our slideshow for this week. I just downloaded it. So on those, oops, that's not the right one. On those season materials right here, you go down to the very bottom. You'll see right here. Explore session support slides. You hit view, and all the slides are there. Introduction. You can just download these PowerPoints. And so what I did was I downloaded every week, and then each week when I'm preparing, I kind of use the slideshow to help me step through that. I don't have the chat open. Oh, someone's helping me out. Thank you. So that's what I did. I downloaded the slides for this week. I put this one as just the open it up, just so if we need something to look at. And I put the extra resources. So these first couple videos are going to be like videos that they had for extra resources. Like I said, we just try to open it up with that way. We're going to start playing these videos. I really like the one they were showing this YouTube is showing the Aladdin stage at Disneyland. And so I also took the commercial for the Imagineers series off of Disney Plus. I don't know if you've seen it. It's so amazing. But the Imagineers is I feel like it really encapsulates this year's season. And so I thought it was really appropriate. And so we kind of put that in there. And then these are just 2 more like art careers, kind of getting the kids think about, hey, I have my own specific talents. And maybe like think about like how do they want to use that? Some of our kids are interested in music, some are interested in coding, some are interested in art, and so there's a lot of different out there. So those are, and then yes, ma'am.
Can I ask a question? So
Absolutely.
are all of those, there was only the one Imagineer that you added to it, the rest were already on there
Yeah, I'll show you.
from the slides?
Yeah, so right here. Oh yeah. This slide, here's all the slides I added. So those first 5 are the ones I added. And the reason I added those is because I feel like this is where it starts. It'll just start with this behind the scenes, and they'll kind of give you some guided questions. This one, I don't even know if you need it in here. This one's more for like you as the coach. I feel like you could print this one out and remove this slide because this is something you want to ask them as they're kind of going through it. Or you could use this as goals, like what kind of goals they want to achieve. So I just like use the snippet tool. So in Windows, I type snippet tool like this, and I just used it to like copy and paste some things out of the notebook. So like just to have the goals for this week. So that's how I use this to make this slide.
Ansel, I
Yes.
think she was asking about the links on that resources page, which not all of those came from Lego. Some of those, like the Imagineering one you said you answered, the last one is a field trip we're planning to try to take as a group, the celebration of Christmas at Dream City Church. That's not provided by Lego. Those are resources you added to that slideshow.
That's absolutely right. So like a part of like last year we did a field trip, and this year we would like to do one too. But since this year is all about theater and using different technology to do like art, lighting, stage design, kind of music design, I feel like this event that particularly happens here kind of encapsulates that. And we could watch it together. I just kind of wanted to show like how it's used. There's actually another one, but I felt like it was a too adult related, so I didn't want to use that one. There's a couple here in Phoenix that you can go to, and then these. So the Kennedy Center, yeah, I think this one and the Imagineer story is the two I added. Is that what you're asking? Sorry. Yeah, so these first 5 slides I just added to it. And this is just like,
Yeah, I think I was asking both, like which slides and what things did you add and what came from Lego? So that answered it in full. Thank you.
yeah, these first 5 are just kind of like exercises. This is just like to kind of like prep the team. Hey, these are going to be our goals today. This is something new. I'm just trying it this week. And I'm sure you guys are going to find like some things that maybe work better for your team. And I think it depends on how small, like, are you around a circle table or you got to, it depends on like your kind of your setting. I think around a circle table is probably going to be the best. But you know, it depends on where you're kind of set up and have things at. And then I kind of wanted to just go over the core values each week, and then they're going to focus in on one. So I'm just kind of highlighting it. And I just kind of want to talk about like, hey, what are our core values? Like, these are things that we believe in that we're not willing to change about ourselves. These are things that we want to be, you know? And so that's kind of, do you want to explain some things?
Michael, your friends are coming soon.
Why don't you grab a few Legos? You can play with some Legos until then. And then these are the team roles. And so, yes, ma'am.
I was just going to add, so the way you mentioned that we have 2 teams, and all of this upfront slide stuff we're doing jointly, both teams working going through these slides together, watching the same video together, and then we break off from there. So there will be a little bit additional conversation on assigning roles per each team during their builds and such, but they're all sitting together working through the core values as, you know, as 2 teams. They're working together through that.
So say you have 12 kids total and then you divide it to 2 teams of 6. Is that the idea?
Yes.
We have 8. I think we have 8 or 9. So we'll have a team of 4 and a team of 5.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, and you'll see, and this is the slides. This is getting into their slides. Like I said, this first slide, it gives you tips and stuff here at the bottom. And this is like things that you find, like these notes are good. It's everything that's in the engineering notebook. But you can you can read through them and maybe they'll help you. I found that just reading through it, like I probably spend about 2 hours reading this. And I try to do it one day before today, and then I try to spend at least an hour on it like today before I'm coming here. And then so like it'll open up and you're going to cover one of the core values, and it kind of gives you questions right here. And so you can ask this, and like Skylar said, we kind of do this part together. As soon as we get to the activities, we're going to break off into 2. I don't know if we're going to be able to do this because we don't actually have 2 box sets yet. So you're supposed to have all these materials. So we may have to do these together today. Just until we can get to there. And last week, because all the materials are downloadable, when we had some extra people and not enough engineering notebooks, I just went ahead and printed out some extra papers just so right off my computer, just to have that going. I did add this to my tips and tricks kind of area right here. So like once you get the this is something I thought about last week, and I was like, I should do this. So there's areas where they want you to draw the core values or draw their ideas. I think if we would have not drawn them in the notebooks and drawn them on blank papers, then we could have saved all those blank papers and used them on our poster instead of putting them in the book. And I feel like you're just kind of thinking about that poster ahead of time and kind of helping the kids out a little bit. And you can always use it like as a memory, like, hey, remember when you did this? Could you talk about it a little? Yeah, so we're just gonna go through this. We'll break through the activities. And so this week, I think if you can see me for Provence. So I found these on Facebook Marketplace. I know it's a little over the top, but I found these on Facebook Marketplace this weekend.
And so we couldn't hear that. Can you try again?
Oh, yeah, you might need to say it over there.
Yeah, so I guess what I think if you can see Pavon's,
Yeah, I'm not sure if you see me or if you see,
I see you, Pavon.
you see me. All right,
Yeah.
there we go.
If you click on Pavon, so this week I got these off of, because we're gonna have two teams, I was like, okay, we need to break up the Legos to where the kids aren't fighting over them. So I got these off of Facebook Marketplace, these Lego boxes. You probably don't need the giant square ones, but I got them because I was like, hey, we're gonna be doing Lego Club for a while. We might as well invest in it and have these boxes to where we could put all the extra Legos for people. These extra, and they're just storage bins, just so we can break up the Legos to the teams, right? They're just,
This is also really important because they like to save their builds. And so having some designated storage place where their builds are already built, that you can save them is really important. They're very disappointed when they come back and something's not in the spot it was.
and Skylar's right, because this year is very creative, and you see this mat right here on the screen. So you're going to talk about this mat, and this mat breaks out the different kind of technologies that they're focusing on, and each of the kids are going to do different builds that they're going to want to add to it and put there. And so our kids really like to save it and work on it a little bit each week. And what's interesting with each of those areas, that, like I said, they have a character that kind of goes with it. And then so we do both the activities. Once we finish the activities, like this week, you'll see there's an activity. They're going to build all the minifigures. You're going to talk about their different hobbies and their different skill sets, about how they use technology and art together in a STEAM fashion. Sorry. You can reread this story, and this story is just. I think what's cool about this, like, so you could grab the little character and you could be like, hey, can you find this character? And you can read, like, that kid could read it, or you could read for them, hey, what their specific skill is. And this is just giving them ideas. So when they build that team model, they can kind of be like, oh yeah, I kind of really resonate with that character. And so I want to build something like that. You know, it's just kind of giving the kids a touch point. And the challenge, you see, every week there's going to be a challenge, and they're going to say, hey, maybe you can build something a different way. And so they get like some free time to explore with the Legos, change what they built up, maybe add or take away from the stage. The stage is, I think, kind of pretty. You stick to the model at first, and I think at the end you can kind of do what you want. But from reading through the books and the whole season, that's kind of what it is. And then I think you could do share however you want, but like I said, we're just getting each of the kids to at least share their name, something new they learned, or the core value of the day, and then kind of what they did on their build and talk about it, just to kind of get the kids just better at public speaking. This slide I'm just going to delete because I already have those.
Ansel?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to head out because I got to drive to where you are. So I'm going to hop off. but I will see you guys shortly. And yeah, I think you got it all under control. So thank you for putting this all together. I appreciate it.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Skylar. And you'll see your team poster. It comes with a lot of this on the back. So it comes with the 4 things that you do every single week: explore, build, test, and share. And so you kind of have those that shares. And then the map, it's kind of used as a touch point because it's going to talk about the different things. You're going to talk about the theater, the music, the video, maybe different staging and then sound. So it's kind of like touching each one of these. And like I said, there's a character that goes with each of them. And last week was hobbies. So we asked the kids before the start, like, hey, maybe bring something small you can show and tell, that they like. And some people brought videos of them playing the drums. Some kids showed us their artwork and things like that. It's really fun because then you get to learn a little bit about the kids too. And icebreakers never go wrong, right? So icebreakers help the kids kind of start feeling relaxed and just kind of working together. I guess that's kind of how we just structure the week. I don't know if I should stop there, see if there's any questions.
Why don't you stop sharing for a minute?
I have one other thing I think may be
Okay.
important to everyone. It's just this. It's just the budget. So Pavan may have shared this with you already. I don't know, but like kind of thinking about what your budget going to look like. So the Explore kit's going to be like $365, the registration fees, and then maybe your project and swag supplies. So I think my wife came up with a good idea. I haven't really shared it with the whole team, but she said, hey, since this year is about creativity, she goes, you should probably do tie-dye shirts with just some nice black print of like Beat Patrol on it or something like that. And I thought that was a good idea because it could be like another event we could do with the kids that's a little more artsy and maybe not so much Lego, but it could be just something else we could do together. And I could stop sharing. I believe you wanted to share something, or?
Well, I just want to ask a question.
Yes, ma'am.
So the mat that you showed.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so everyone gets one of those. Is that what you build on top of? Is that like the mat is in FLL Challenge?
Yeah, so this is going to be kind of like, I know it's not quite like a robotic field, but this is going to be your area in which you build. And if when you read through the instructions for the season, it says they want you to put the stage in the center. So they want you to build the stage, and then they want the kids to get creative and build in these different areas something that could add to the stage. And it could be different. It doesn't necessarily have to be like a theater stage. Maybe it's an immersive experience, or maybe it's an augmented reality with holograms, or maybe it's just a light show, or maybe it's there's a lot of different ways that you could kind of bring it together. It could even be, I think, videos. Actually, I think they put that in there that you could even submit a video this year. Because I remember last year you couldn't submit a video. This year you can.
Okay, but that's the size. They have to stay within that footprint, and then they can just go high. They can just fill up that whole mat if they want to, and they can go high as long as it stays within the mat and incorporates the pieces that come. And so this year I'm looking for the building instructions.
So do you use Legos that are outside of the kits that you're sent? Like you can use any Legos to build those builds, but they can get creative with.
1 second for me.
When I went to World, Sandy, I was blown away. There must have been 100 pounds of Legos. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So
hey, if you need Legos,
We've gotten some nice Facebook marketplace tubs.
So where does the robot go?
so
Yes.
he'll explain. Where does your robot go?
So the kids doesn't actually come with a robot. So on one of the last, I think it's 4, 5, and 6, session 4, 5, and 6. You're going to open up the spike. So here's my iPad. Now we have because we're going to have 2 kids. We're going to use my son's iPad and my iPad. And in the iPad, you'll download an app. I don't know if you can see all this.
Mhm.
There we go. See my face here.
So Vicky, just so you understand, it's just like FLL Challenge. There's two things. You have an FLL, sorry, you have a Lego Education Spike Essential Kit. That's the yellow box that I sent you. You reuse that every year. That's where the brain is inside of that, right? And then you get the FLL Explore Annual Kit, which is the box that Ansel was holding with the mat. And these two things come together, that box right there. So you should have both. You should have the yellow bin and you should have this box right here. The yellow bin is what you reuse every single year because it has your brain and it can have little sensors and things in there, motors. The other box that they're showing you, that's the annual kit that is specific to Masterpiece. And those Legos can be added to your Lego collection at the end of the season. And this is how you end up living in a house that is full of Legos.
That's a great point because there's so through the session, there's 3 main builds that come from the annual kit. And then there's 3 builds that you're going to use from the yellow. So when you download this app, so this app is called Spike. Let me just get off of it.
That's from Lego Education, right?
Lego Education Spike. And when you go home, there's a unit section. You go to units and you go down all the way to the bottom. And when you download it, you'll see it says First Lego League Explorer. And there's 3 builds in here that you're going to do. There's one that has a robot. This is kind of sad. We did a lot of, we had extra time last year and we actually done all these builds last year. So these builds may be boring to like half the kids because they already done it. But you'll see there's one that here, it says Explore Lesson 3, and there's like a small, it's cute actually. It walks through, but there's a small little robot there. And then the kids make challenges and changes to that. You could always incorporate all 3 of these as well into it. And on the units, there's like so many different types here. Like if you really wanted to go overboard and do more, I mean, there's a lot here you could do.
Can you unmute, Sandy?
Is that brain and those sensors incorporated on the stage somehow, or how do they come together?
Yes. So the brain. So we're using Lego Essentials. Lego Essentials only has 2 wire outputs. Lego Spike Prime has 4 outputs, and then Lego sells another one that has 6, but you have to like go to their website and find it. For this year's challenge, they're only going to be, there's 2 things that are used on the stage. And so those 2 things that are used on the stage is the lighting. Maybe if I can show you right here, you'll see, this one doesn't actually have it. Right here at the top, they have a light cube where the kids can do different animations and different things with the light cube on top. And then there's also a motor that's going to spin the center of this stage. And so
then the brain controls those 2 sensors that you put on. The kids can program the brain to do different things with the sensors. And then
yes, you could disconnect them and then use them on the kids' builds too. If they like their own builds more and they want to do something else. Last year we had a challenge where we're like, well, because there's only 2 outputs, the kids came up with this clever like pulley system where one motor controlled 2 different things by just using the rubber bands. And so you'll be surprised what the kids come up with. This year we do have 2 kits. So if they're going to, I guess they're probably going to have their own each post. And actually, thanks, Pavan. You might want to see the poster that the kids did last year.
Yep, go ahead. I don't have audio. You can just.
Yeah, so this is the poster from last year. And so you'll see there's like some drawings on the left-hand side. Those are those drawings that we talked about with the kids. And like I said, you're going to draw those. They ask you to draw these things inside the book, but I wish I would have thought of this ahead of time. Like, oh man, if I just draw these on blank paper instead of in the book, now we can use them on the poster again. And then on the—
Can they see me?
Oh, yes, we see you perfectly.
Okay.
And on the right side, so we just kind of assigned each kid a core value. Because it seemed tough for all of them to know them all. Some of the older kids could learn all of them pretty easily, but some of the younger kids that were like 6 years old, they kind of struggled with that. So what we did was we just asked the kids questions about the core values. We wrote down exactly what they said, typed it out so that they could kind of rehearse it for themselves when they were talking to the judge.
Can you tip your screen down a little bit? I can see the top half of that, but I can't see I see the city park, but I don't see what goes right under the city park.
Is that what she's looking for?
So either lift the mat, or tip your screen down so that we can see the full, your full map.
They want you to back up and tilt it down.
Yeah, back up.
Tilt it down, got it.
There you
Okay.
go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Those are the 6 kids on top.
Yeah.
That was great.
Yeah, I had to help the kids with that one. I just cut their heads out in Photoshop, put an outline around it.
Okay.
Just so because say when they went to Worlds, like there might be people who want to see it, but they don't have a face to the experiment. And I was like, oh, this is a good idea.
So that is the poster that they made for their core values.
Yes, ma'am. And then we just kind of put some posters on there. One of the things that we did last year, so Skylar set us up to go to Bricks and Minifigs. And it was kind of like a friends and families parent night kind of thing. And we set up there and the kids practiced kind of their sharing what they did there. And it was just kind of it was kind of encouraging to see the kids because the family got to enjoy and see everything that they've been doing. And then it also brought in new people too. Like a lot of people were interested there. And actually Bricks and Minifigs contacted Skylar and was like, hey, when are y'all coming out? So we'll probably schedule that for early January. And I mean, there's several Bricks and Minifigs, so I'm sure every team could do that.
Cool.
Other questions?
So I still can't see the full poster.
Okay.
Can you either bring your camera closer or bring your poster?
Okay, do you see, I'm broadcasting.
Look on Pavon's. You can click.
Oh, let me move. Oh, there we go. Okay, I just moved my screen. Okay.
I'm not sure if that's coming up.
Yes, now I see it
Maybe
all.
you can hang on,
Okay.
Stage that.
Yeah. Can you? Yeah, I think Elaine. Let's see. I don't know.
And
No, I
then
can't
you
Yeah, I
can
see it now.
you can go to speaker and you can pin Zoom. If you go to
Zoom user.
you can pin the Zoom user exactly, yeah, and then that'll really blow it up on your screen.
Will that show up in the recording, Elaine?
Yes,
Okay,
yes, it should be recording what I'm doing.
okay, great.
Yeah, so hopefully we'll.
So I can just scan through this again.
Oh yeah, this is great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Aw.
And some cool things Pavon brought. So you'll see at the bottom there's like the coding portion, and then you'll see Pavon already had Beat Patrol already had this kind of awesome chant or kind of, would you call it a chant?
Yeah.
Yeah, Micah, will you stand up here and give it for us? Come on, I'll help you out. Stand up here and do it with me. Stand up here. Ready? Let's do it.
Oh, hang on, I
Beep
gotta hang
Patrol.
on.
Beep, beep, patrol, patrol, beep, patrol. Beep, beep, patrol, patrol, beep. That you didn't help me out, man.
I remember you doing that.
So
I remember you showed it. You did your little singing
That's
song
cool.
and dance at state. Yeah,
do you remember Miss Elaine last year? I remember.
yeah, I remember you. He didn't want to
So-
talk much. He's doing well. It's great. Love it.
And each team kind of has their own kind of swag that they bring. So maybe it's like stickers, pins that you can bring and kind of show off and trade with the other teams. That makes it just a little more fun.
Yep.
It's really, yeah, really great.
Yes, sir.
That's what she did.
Here's an example of our sticker. You see my sticker?
Yeah, very cool.
And one of the parents, I think they just had the connections and they made that for us, you know.
And then here's our, of course, button maker.
Oh, you have a button maker. Yeah.
It's a lot heavier than it looks.
Yeah. So then if you can you can interact with a makerspace. Then like we have one at ASU that if they'll work with the community, you book a time and they've got a button maker like this and they've got supplies and you come in and make your stuff. And then you talk about that when the reviewers come and talk to the kids, but it shows the kids how collaboration and interaction is encouraged, right? It's a good thing. I find these kids nowadays, it's so hard to convince them that asking for help is a good thing, right? I can do it on my own, and when they go out and they meet someone who is kind to them and helps them with something, they're always just amazed at what a wonderful experience it was. So so that's something we have here at ASU, but I know they're all over town where people might be able to help you do this kind of stuff so that we don't want teams to have to go out and spend tons and tons of money. When we review the teams, because I'm a reviewer for Explore, we're really more looking for right, we don't want think type tap super, like, you know, how the drawings of the kids on the board, that's what we want to see. We want to see that the kids did it, but we also want to see that the kids made interaction, talked to people, got some help to, or made the tie-dye the t-shirts on their own, and however it turns out, and to hear that, yeah, this didn't really work so well, and so we had to start again. We love those stories. Love those stories. We are not looking for perfection. We're looking for a journey. We're looking for progress. Wherever you were at the beginning of the season, we want to see that you traveled forward a little bit. So, and it can, right, you can add to it a little bit every year. So if you're a new team, don't stress out too much over it. Just picking a team name can be 3 meetings. I've been there. All right, we just have a few minutes left. Anything else?
I think this has been super helpful. Thank you.
That was really good. Because I've never coached Explore, and after today I would know how to get started. So that's really good. All right.
Pavan wanted to share this box that was made. This was
Very
used to just kind of store and transport the builds, because traveling with the builds from Arizona to Houston is kind of a tough task. So he's just kind of showing and Skylar's dad kind of built this just to help store the kids' Legos. We're still breaking those down and kind of adding them to our kind of creative Legos.
Wow.
Something this year I've kind of been tossing in my head, but I don't know about it yet. I was thinking like it'd be really cool to use a 3D printer to introduce the kids to build the swag too, just so they're kind of thinking about different art ideas with tech too.
Great idea. All right. Oh, we can't hear you. Unmute. Come on. Unmute.
One more thing, we built a hard base for our mat, so it fits inside of like a plywood frame. And that really is nice. Then you can, we take it at the end of the meeting, put it on top of the fridge or something in the garage to get it out of the way, and the builds don't get messed up from week to week. So, and then of course, that's how you'll transport it to any competition that you go to.
Yeah, that's a really.
So I may consult with you guys as we get closer to January 13th, because what I'm doing is there'll be, I'm not 100% sure yet where we're going to set you guys up, because it depends how many teams sign up, but for sure we will have 1 or 2 rooms where the kids are going to go in to get to talk to the reviewers. And so I want to do like what I saw at Worlds, where there was some kind of a supportive structure on the table, then the mat went on there, and then the Legos went on top, so that when it was time to go meet with the reviewers, you were able to just pick up the whole platform that you were given by the organizers, right? And you could put it on not a tray, but a cart, I guess, or and then roll it all the way into the room with the judges. So that doesn't exist right now here in Arizona, as far as I know. So I should have access to very quiet maker space over the Christmas break, because that'll be in between semesters for students. So I want to get them to cut me some wood, and then, so I'm interested in what you guys have to say about, should there be a border around it, or should it just be something that's stiff, a stiff piece of wood that's the right size, or I don't know what I need to do, but think about that so that I can have 10 or 15 of these made during the quiet time, so that that's what's awaiting for you on January 13th. That makes it easy to transport to the reviewer room.
Yeah, that sounds really good. Yes, ours has like a small lip on it, maybe an inch tall.
Okay.
And then the mat kind of sits in there like that. It's not quite as, like how in the challenge they have those big fields that the mats sit in. So it's
Yeah.
not like a giant 6
Okay.
inch lip. It's just a tiny.
But it
little
does
lip.
prevent sliding around, is what you're
Yeah.
saying.
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
that's really good. I hadn't thought of that. Very good. Okay. All right. Hope that was useful. Hi, Sarah. How
Hi,
are
I'm
you?
Sarah. I was a part of First Lego League Junior when I was 6, and I'm 16 now. I'm a part of FTC, and the biggest thing I would say or the most important thing I would say to a new FLL Explore team would be just start with something easy and simple, and then just do +1, another thing that's easy, and then grow off of that. Because when you start with something easy, when you do a complex design, you need to really know what you're doing. And so starting with something easy is the best way to grow and to just be better overall. So yeah, that's some advice I would give to a new FLL Explore team. So yeah.
Very good.
That was really good. Thanks.